now we are on the way to a private coffee finca in the mountain. This is the family where I'm actually having my Airbnb. And we are driving in a private Jeep because that's the only way to get up there. It's gonna be very muddy. It was raining yesterday. So it's going to be a nice experience. Learning about the entire process of coffee production, all the way from the cherries on the tree to the packaging. And I tasted the coffee yesterday. It's high premium quality coffee from a volcanic mountain region. All around these steep mountain slopes, these are all volcanic mountain slopes, they're growing this Arabica coffee. I mean, that's what Colombia is known for, this absolute top quality coffee, and that's where it comes from. Can't get any better. We're actually recording the people passing here because Colombia is also known for many robberies on the countryside and guerrillas. We are now very high up. That's where the Arabica coffee starts, and it goes even higher and higher. And recently they also had the guerrillas start fighting again in the country. So this is definitely one of the major regions where they're hiding out in the mountains. That's why they have lots of police checkpoints, military checkpoints as well. Certainly when you see it this way, it's not the safest region. For an hour straight we are driving up and up, only uphill. So they have a finger right on the top of the hill of the mountain. That's not a hill anymore, it's a mountain. Well, this is not a beauty contest. This is a working finger where people really work in the coffee. And that's basically a real view of what's going on. And that's, they have these coffee trees here, and the processing and roasting is done down in the city. They have the roaster. Yesterday she showed me the roasting process, which is in the house, basically next to my apartment. They're roasting all the coffee beans. They're drying them out there. They have this way to dry them here. They're picking the fresh beans and then they bring it down for drying and roasting. So that's a typical kitchen. Sí, perfecto, sí, gracias. Sí. This is a typical kitchen, and I was just...
¿Café, gaseosa o agua?
O un café. Un café, sí. Cafecito bueno, sí.
Sí.
This is a typical kitchen, basically also in Madagascar. And when I was driving up today, I realized that it really smells like the countryside in Madagascar, deep in the mountains. So you see, this is a Colombian home in the mountains, and it's really true. Everyone is quite a bit smaller here. I'm standing here, very normal, and this is the entering. I would hit the wall. This is probably about 1.60 meters to get through the door. Hola, hola. Sí, perfecto. This is basically when they take the fruit, they open the sherry up and take the bean out. It smells very strong, like fresh grown coffee here. That's actually an interesting thing. They use the pulpa from the fruit as humus to grow the cafe again. So this is just like a few months old now, a few weeks, and this is here already sitting here for a year or even 2 years, and it's mixing together with the grounds, and that's humus. So that's basically what they use to put it in the ground. As you see, the coffee slopes are basically very difficult to use any kind of machinery. They are very steep slopes. Eso es un
guanábano.
guanábano. Eso, so this is basically, I was just asking her, what taste are these beans having? Like a chocolate, cacao, or citrus, or any kind of fruit?
Allí hay un limón.
So limon. So that's why they're planting the trees in between the coffee cultures to give them a taste.
Este también está ya bueno.
Ah, okay.
O sea, lo que es el grano amarillo o rojo.
Entonces la café de citro, la aroma de citro, de fruta.
Sí.
Okay.
Y él empieza también a tomar ese sabor de la tierra, porque como
Sí,
está
sí,
cultivado,
exactamente, el sabor de la tierra, sí.
como está cultivado en medio.
So they planting the fruit trees in the middle of it for the aroma of the cafe, so it gets a citrus taste. And others planting cacao in between, so it gets a nice chocolate taste. Yeah, now when you open up the sherry and smell it, it has a very earthy, fruity smell, the bean. That's the pure coffee bean. It smells really fruity and earthy. Nice. So you're collecting the red ones? Yes. Green ones will. ¿Por cuánto tiempo esa la verde? ¿Cuánto tiempo necesita cambiar en rojo?
Vea, por ejemplo,
Sí.
el más hecho se madura a los 20 días.
20 días.
Desde que haga calor.
Okay.
Ya cuando llueve mucho, ya se demora un poquito menos.
Ah, ok.
O sea, ahí lo ayuda a madurar es el clima.
Sí, depende del clima, sí, claro.
Y este es el que se procesa para pelarlo, secarlo y ya lo muelen para el consumo.
William, él ahora me preguntaba que si teníamos de pronto palos cerca a algún cultivo de cacao, ¿cierto que acá no?
Sí, sí.
Ah, acá cacao no hay.
Aquí cacao.
No hay, aquí no hay. En esta zona de citros, de
O sea,
frutas.
en esta zona no hay cacao porque el clima no es adaptable para él.
Ah,
ya más
pues.
abajo, como para los lados de Arauca, sí, porque es un clima ya de 40 grados, 37 grados.
Ah, so
El cacao
cerca
es
de
lo caliente.
Cali, más o menos, sí.
Eso, para allá sí el cacao, para Arauca.
Ah, ok. Ok, esta es la primera.
Ah, no. Vea donde sale el plátano.
Ah, plátano también.
¿Ese lo conoce?
Sí, sí, claro, plátano, sí.
El plátano, Así empieza ¿la qué?
Los plátanos, sí. Banana.
La yuca.
Yuca, ok.
De la que tenían los frijoles, ahora
So
comí.
they're putting basically different fruit trees into between the coffee trees, so it has this distinct fruity flavor that you see on the packaging. You see either chocolate flavor or fruity flavor, and that's what it is. This region has all the fruity flavors because the climate is too cold to grow cacao, and further south where Cali is, they're growing Arabica coffee with cacao, so basically with a nice chocolate flavor. I prefer the fruity flavor, so that's why Colombia is famous for this real distinctive fruity citrus flavor coffee. So these are green and they need about 20 days to turn red. That's what he said. So
Oiga, no entiendo los uniformes. El café mancha, William.
I was just tasting the coffee bean now in my mouth. It has this really distinctive sweet fruit flavor. Amazing. I've never tasted a raw bean like this.
Pero hay que seguirlo.
Tastes good
Pa que
and has
veamos
nothing to do with coffee. So he actually telling me, I am asking him how much one plant gives you in 1 year, and he says about 4 to 5 kilogram, and it takes 16 months to really grow when from the beginning. Once the beans are gone right now, it takes another 16 months for them to grow. So 4 kilogram for one tree. That's quite a lot. 2 kilos en un
Eso me he
día,
cogido yo.
en diciembre, octubre, noviembre.
Diciembre.
300 kilos en un día.
en un día.
Wow. So he basically saying that in this whole region, in October, November, December,
Vea,
on a daily basis, they taking 300 kilo of the trees every single day. Wow, that's an amazing capacity. So here's this lemon tree, and it is very fragrant. Just by picking the lemons or going near the tree, it has this strong, distinctive, beautiful lemon flavor. Certainly no chemicals used on this plantation here. This is a private plantation. They use absolutely no chemicals for nothing. So it's basically organic coffee, what we're talking about. Whenever you get an opportunity to get fresh oregano, I'm gonna make an Italian pasta tonight with fresh oregano. It's so beautiful. These are huge leaves. Wonderful. Okay, ahora esto es el segundo
El
proceso.
segundo proceso, que ya es cuando se recolecta el café y los trabajadores vienen y lo que cogen lo vacían.
Okay.
O sea, se vacía acá en lonas, o sea, en estopas de estas llenas, cuando hay harto y se vacía, así como lo hice yo.
Okay. Okay.
Y ya baja uno abajo y ya lo pela.
Ah, abajo. Entonces, okay, entra aquí y
Esa se llama una
y
torta,
abajo.
¿cierto?
Sí, esa es
So
una-
now comes the second process, the raw beans, the fruits basically. You place them into the machine. So they're coming down here.
Ya es el
They're
proceso.
coming
Esta es
down here.
la máquina,
Okay.
la que pela. Este es
Por abierto la pulpa.
sí, abierta. Por ejemplo, acá ya baja.
So basically what it does, the machine, it opens up the fruit and
Y
let
acá
it,
ya se prende.
right. Yeah, it completely opens up, you see the beans coming out and the fruit pulp is basically separated. And now it's sitting in a vase of water for 3-4 days. And that's basically the second process.
El lavado
So,
del café.
Lavarlo.
¿cierto?
After they taking basically bathing it, they separating the fruit, basically the bean, when you call it this way.
Este se le saca aparte,
Yeah.
esto es aparte.
The the bean, they separating it from the fruit, the pulp. The pulp will be thrown away for the hummus and sits on the ground for a year or two, and the beans will go for processing, drying the beans, and then roasting the beans, so that that will be done in the city. So actually this little greenhouse, if you want to call it this way, he just said inside this greenhouse it is extremely dry and it's about 42 degrees centigrade. They're laying out what you saw in the bars. They're laying it out there for drying. ¿Eso process por cuántos días?
Para secar el café.
Sí, sí.
Para secar el café se demora ahí por ahí 14, 13 días.
13 días.
Desde que haga buen calor.
Sí, sí, sí. Ah, okay, perfecto.
Y
That's the process that's done here in the finca, and then they're bringing it now after the second process, they're putting it into containers and bringing it down to the house where they're drying it and then roasting it and then grinding it, and yeah, that's it, and then there's your happy cup of coffee. Ah, sí, casa antigua, sí.
Y tierra. Santa Rosa queda allá donde están las antenas.
Okay.
Santa Rosa, Manizales
Manizales.
y Chinchina queda para allá. Chinchina queda acá derecho, así.
¿Cómo?
Chinchina.
Chinchina. Es un pueblo.
Es un pueblo de Manizales.
Pero eso, todo café, café, café.
Todo es café.
Todo es café.
Café,
And
plátano,
this is high quality coffee in this region. One of the best in Colombia, if not the best.
se apagó. Se apagó. Mire.
Sí, es un vídeo. Sí, pero sí, recuerda ahora, sí. Eso recuerda.
Lo prendo.
Sí, sí, yo sé. Tú no veas. No, eso bien, eso bien.
Así, ya queda así.
Ujú.
Y sí, eso recordar.
Si es de estar por ahí 2, 3 meses.
2, 3 meses,
2,
okay.
3 meses.
So this is the coffee culture basically.
Sí.
They're
Allá
taking
están
it
más.
out from the old seeds and they growing it here for a few weeks and then they're planting it.
Como así, esto y aquí. Así,
Now they're building a nice
así.
old style house here. Sí,
Esos acá están de 6, 7 meses.
6, 7 meses
Sí.
eso, okay.
Este ya está para trasplantar a la tierra.
Sí, exactamente, sí.
Y ya cuando uno lo trasplanta va creciendo así.
Queda así.
¿Eso cuánto tiempo?
Ese debe tener por ahí 1 año.
Un año.
Un año.
Y ya después de crece así, le cogen.
Okay. Okay. So this is basically the dried coffee, the green dried coffee beans that came out from yesterday. Then they're drying it in the sun. ¿Por cuánto tiempo? ¿Seco por cuánto tiempo más o menos?
¿Por cuánto tiempo? Se puede almacenar hasta 6 meses.
And the aroma of the coffee here now is really strong. It smells completely like coffee, not anymore any earthy smell.
Esto es lavado.
It's really cursy smell. Okay.
Esto es lavado.
Eso lavado, pero seco también, seco.
Sí,
Todo
o sea,
seco.
Bueno,
Oh, eso es
esto es honey.
honey smell.
Honey.
Wow, this is
O sea que el honey es el que no se lava.
El honey es el que se pone a secar con el mucílago.
¿Cuál es posible eso procesando la seco grano con honey? ¿Qué es posible?
Bueno, espera, ¿cómo le explico? Cuando se coge el café, existen 3 formas de ponerlo a fermentar,
Sí,
¿cierto?
ok.
Entonces, uno es que lo ponen dentro de un tanque de agua,
Así como lo vi ayer ahí en la casa.
Sí, sí.
colocan todo el café, ¿cierto? Entonces, ese es lavado, el que yo le
Ok,
mostré
sí,
amarillito.
sí, sí.
Ese es lavado, ¿cierto? Él lo colocan 12 horas, 24 horas, en el, pues depende, ¿cierto? La fermentación que le quieren dar.
Con honey.
No, dentro del tanque de agua, ¿cierto? Entonces ya luego lo despulpan y lo ponen a secar.
Después, la proceso como esto, con honey. ¿Qué es posible?
El honey, bueno, el honey entonces es diferente porque cuando lo despulpan, lo vuelven y lo lavan y lo ponen a secar. Y esto es natural. Natural es que lo ponen a secar con el grano completo.
Eso, grano completo.
Pero ese es el grano
Yo no,
rojo.
yo no había grano
Sí.
completo, ¿no? Eso es mi primera vez, había grano completo.
Grano completo. Entonces vea.
Wow,
O sea,
yes.
grano con cáscara y todo.
Entonces,
So
si
this is interesting. I've never seen that. So this is actually they leaving the process
Yeah.
out. They just take the fruit off the tree. Ah, so that's an
Y así
interesting
vio que
machine.
ya se le peló.
So
Ya botó toda esta.
this one, the fruity
Esa ya la
entire
bota.
bean
Esta ya la bota.
has been placed in, and now it's all the ground, the outside pulp fruit, the dried fruit is off, and the bean is basically there. Wow, it has a very strong fruity smell. Eso ahora necesita seco por 15 días. No,
ya.
eso- ¿Cuál es el proceso con eso?
ya
ahora?
cuando yo lo trillo, cuando le quito la cáscara es porque lo voy a tostar.
Tostando rápido. En
Ya este va para la tostión.
Sí, exactamente.
Oh, wow. So that's how they get these different flavors in Colombia. They are really interesting. I've never seen it. So they have the ordinary process of drying the beans and putting it in a bath like yesterday. And on top of that, they taking the raw bean without any further processing, dry it in the sun, and then without fermenting it, they're taking it through this special machine here to cut it in half, and they throwing it as an addition into the toasting process, and this way they get different flavors. Wow, interesting. Vamos a ver la...
Este es un café que se le va a vender.
So this is actually the dried coffee. I mean, not the dried coffee. This is the fruity coffee that hasn't been gone through the fermentation process. Wow, this bean have a complete different smell. So that's how they're really getting their different flavors. That's so interesting. And they're adding it into the normal process, and this way they get those flavors of pepper, malt, and stuff like that. It's just very interesting. I didn't know that at all. So
Le dije que quería lo llevar a la fábrica que conociera el proceso del café y no, él está, ve, de la madera. No, él quiere el proceso del café. Le
Sí.
apasiona este tema, ¿cierto?
sí, sí, sí. Me gusta comprar un paquete o para probar un pequeño.
Y
un
usted
poco.
tiene la maquinita para moler.
Solo, sí, sí, solo eso café, solo de
tiene
fruto,
pan
sí.
Pues de tener pan ya sí, tengo.
No de seco, solo eso.
Tengo
I guess they're making different flavors, so they marking it. They have all these different flavors they're producing, and then they're testing it.
O sea,
But I understand this is not flavors they're adding anything chemical. This is completely natural process. So now he's giving me a little of this very premium. This is probably the top premium quality of coffee, most expensive item basically you can produce. So it is measured in with a diamond scale. When you see it this way, it's very interesting. This is like top-notch flavor, and he's gonna give it to me to taste. The best of the best coffee. That's good for me to taste. I love that idea. Oh wow, interesting. That's really interesting. And I will buy a package that is really the top quality of the quality. He only having quality now here in his home. And from his quality I want the very best quality, and he giving it to me now. And I buy a small package and take it home and put it in my normal coffee making brew process and see how I like that flavor. Café de la mayor calidad aquí.
Ya
Sí.
le averiguo. Yo creo que ese honey es uno.
Ya le muestro.
Me gusta comprar paquetes de café contigo también en esta semana. ¿Cuál es la mayor calidad?
Bueno, pues acá tenemos ese natural, este es natural, el que viene negrito.
Sí,
tenemos
sí.
de ese, tenemos el honey.
Un poco negrito me gusta la tostada un poco más tostado.
Más, sí, ya. Ok. Entonces tenemos así, tenemos de los tres, del que quieras.
Ok, sí, para mí me gusta para conocer los diferentes sabores. Por eso, naturales, sabores
Ok,
naturales.
Acá está, lavado, honey, natural.
Sí, no natural no, pero ¿cuál es la alta calidad, la mejor calidad de café? De eso, tú vendes. ¿Cuál café tú vendes eso la mayor calidad?
El honey es buena calidad.
Sí, sí.
So let me ask you a question. Did you ever had a coffee in Colombia where you say it's a 98% score or 100?
I mean, after 80 score, is not in percentage, it's more in points.
Okay.
From the Specialty Quality Association, they certificates Q grader capper. I am
Okay.
not Q grader capper.
Okay.
I used to study in United States for Q grader
Okay.
diploma.
Okay.
And when you are working with a specialty coffee, you used to get a score.
Okay.
80 to 84 is a very good coffee.
And this one is,
This is 86, 87.
so this is
It's
really,
like
really
exotic
good.
coffee.
And where did you taste 90, over 90?
I used
Ethiopia
to try in Saudi Arabia one Ethiopian coffee.
Yes.
94.
94,
94.
wow.
And in Colombia from Huila 92.
So you say Ethiopian coffee is really, really premium.
I mean, for that batch,
Mm-hmm.
because it's the same. In Ethiopia there is bad coffee,
Of
good
course.
coffee and high coffee.
But in general, you can agree that
For
Ethiopian
me,
coffee is
Ethiopia is a
great.
very good coffee.
Coffee,
It's
yes.
like bright and brilliant acidity.
Is it like fruity, or what flavors do they have like the natural
It's
ground?
like yellow fruits, like mango, like tangerine, like a lemon, like
Okay.
but very and floral.
And where do you get the chocolate flavors usually? In which countries?
From Colombia is very chocolate coffee.
Okay.
This coffee that you're gonna try,
Yes.
you're gonna feel chocolate, hazelnuts,
Oh, wow, okay.
caramel,
Caramel.
a little bit of acidity.
Okay,
It's
very
very
good.
good.
Oh, I like to try.
No, lo necesitas.
Coffee, that's a major brand in Colombia.
I used to work before for Café Quindío. I
Café
was
Quindío.
the coffee specialist and I was in charge about roasting the capsules process
Wow.
and working with the baristas
And
around the
around Colombia.
Colombia. I used to support the export
Because
exporting.
Quindío, Café Quindío is the one brand I'm always searching in
Commercial brand.
but I search it in a supermarket, and every time I
Yes.
find it, I usually grab
It's one
that
of the
one.
best commercial brand.
The best commercial brand for me.
Commercial, but if you take this or like
Oh,
from
it's probably
New
much
York,
better.
it's the best.
Yes, I'm gonna taste it today.
Y con eso estamos.
So we're lucky today. By accident, he didn't plan to roast coffee, but now he is roasting a premium batch. So that's good to see. This is actually, you see the big machine there for toasting. This is a small one for tiny batches. I had one very tiny one, and you can basically take with you. This one is also very interesting.
Y ahí, a la cooperativa de los de la meseta, y se consigue ya muy fácil. Aunque
Nosotros en estos días compramos unas para almacenar un café que guardamos así, para nosotros echarlo todo de una. Y las pedimos pero por medio de Bogotá.
like the process is clean, you're gonna get a good coffee.
Okay.
But it's not only
It has to be hand-picked, right? All hand-picked.
hand pick and a clean process.
Right, right.
Even though if you have a clean process, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be a good or a great coffee.
So what makes a great
of
coffee
the,
for
of
you?
of the soil,
Right.
depends of the altitude,
Exactly.
and a lot of
And the volcanic soil here,
Yes.
around here, it's a lot of
and
volcanic soil.
the best way you can find the attributes is tasting.
Okay, and what makes this smell being very fruity? You planting fruit trees in between.
Is the particular smelling from a good parchment.
Oh, okay.
This
And
is parchment.
this is the one you are roasting right now.
Yes.
You're roasting it, and it's
mean-
going to be a really super premium coffee, right?
If you roast good, yes.
So what's the roasting good? What does it mean for you, roasting
it's
good?
hard.
What is the temperature has to be right, and
Temperature, the level roasting degree
yes,
must be medium or medium high,
yeah,
not darker.
yes. So that
If you go,
depends
if
the
you go
minute.
darker, it's gonna be the taste.
Justamente van a comenzar como otro
So they
proceso
keep constantly watching the process now.
de los hijos de agricultores.
They say it
capacitarlos en el
takes
comité.
13 to 18 minutes, but still they keep watching constantly until it's finished. And you see the color is changing from green to light brown.
Vamos en
Now he
140.
keeps watching every minute to really see. Wow, yellow. Oh yes, it's smelling very differently now.
¿La qué? Perdón, Felipe, ¿la qué?
So they keep watching now every minute.
Agitando y
They're getting really brown, and now you hear the cracking of the beans. Oh yes, sir. This cracking is because they're really dry now,
¿Me
right?
dicen en qué momento?
No, todavía no.
Ahora le dejamos otro poquito.
It develops the sugar and the fruit.
Oh, I see.
Desarrollarle
Okay. So now it's the final process where the flavor coming in. Not a natural, not an artificial flavor added, don't get it wrong. It's just the flavor of the coffee is developing now in the last few minutes of the roasting process. And now he watches very carefully, depending on when he stops, that's where the flavor is changing.
Qué pena que la gente
Oh, beautiful. What a smell.
¿Cómo lo ves, Felipe?
Excelente, se quedó como
Now
media,
it's cooling off.
media más uno me...
Since specialty coffee started from 70s years, in the 70s,
Yes.
in 1975, starts the Specialty Coffee Association in United States.
Okay.
After that, this coffee improved all the quality, because not only in Colombia, Ethiopia, Burundi, Rwanda,
Exactly.
Kenya.
Rwanda, Kenya, or
Very good.
Rwanda, Kenya,
For
or
me-
Ethiopia, muy
for
buena
me,
café.
Ethiopia,
Yes.
Rwanda, Kenya, Panama,
Panama.
Geisha,
Nicaragua are also very good.
Nicaragua, Costa Rica.
Yes. But I like also Ethiopia and Kenya and Rwanda cafe.
But
Really good.
is famous, the Colombian is the most important. Why? Because of society,
Society,
because
right.
of federation, cooperative, coffee growers, and exporters.
But
That's the
you-
reason.
What I hear, I don't know, I hear the difference between Colombia and Brazil, for example. Brazil coffee will never be as good because they're using to harvest everything with machinery. And this way they have all the different things inside that is not supposed to be inside. Is that right? Something like that. You're doing everything by hand in Colombia.
But you know, the Brazil
Wow, smells
has
good.
very, very good coffee.
So one thing, so you said if I have grinded beans, once it is grinded coffee, you shouldn't keep it longer. If it's very fresh like now, the batch is just finished, and I grind it today, how long can I keep it for
Okay.
really fresh flavor?
The idea is never grind the coffee only for
The
brew
batch.
or for prepare.
Okay.
But if you don't have the grinder, I suggest buy in whole bean
Yes.
and in a coffee shop they grind for you.
But for example, this one is now super fresh. It's just coming out of the roasting process. How long, if I'm grinding this whole bag today, how long can I keep it for a very fresh flavor? I'm grinding everything today.
With this packaging,
Yeah.
with this valve,
Yeah.
whole bean,
No,
2
grinding.
or 3 months.
Okay, and grind it?
With this packaging, with this valve, ground coffee, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, perfect.
But if you have the ground coffee and you have 3 coffee that you're gonna try, this coffee is gonna be the best coffee from Colombia and the best coffee you're gonna try.
Why?
Because of the coffee grower, because of the roaster, and because it's fresh coffee.
And you don't, if I taste it tomorrow instead of today, you said it's even better. Why?
It's gonna be better because it's gonna release a little bit of gas. Once you roast coffee, creates gas.
Okay.
And once releasing 4 or 5 hours release gas, we call the gas. The
Okay.
gas the coffee, and it's gonna be better
It's
for the taste
Okay.
and for the crema in espresso.
so it will have, even so it's Arabica, I never had the crema, it will have crema because it's really, really fresh.
Because it's fresh and because of the process from the coffee grower
Okay.
in farm.
Okay.
Brewing method.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
This is a brewing method. Actually, is made in Germany